Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. Okay, let me just make it better here. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, it's the only thing that I ask. I have a question for all of you. Are you guys starting to have some fun or what? Seems like the crypto bull wants to come at full force. I think a lot of it is driven not just by the liquidity cycle, but also because I think the market is starting to price in the higher likelihood of the orange man to be elected. If you check Polymarket, I think he is 59-60% probability of winning. And usually I take Polymarket a bit more seriously because that's, people are betting with their own money, right? So it's not just talking, it's actually betting. And I do believe that scenario may be becoming more realistic. We are less than 3 weeks away from the day. And as I've mentioned, I do think this is a very important election, not so much for the world, but mostly for the US. And I think it will have very strong repercussions. For us, in our little world of crypto, I think is the difference between a 2020-2021 cycle, which would happen if she wins, or 2016-2017 cycle, in which would happen if he wins. Now, going straight to the market, one of the things that I talked in my past couple of videos a lot of times was the only thing that I was looking for was TLT, the bonds, to bounce. As you guys know, I have this theory that the bond market dictates the rest of the other markets, and you need it stable to rising. As I've mentioned, I think in my last 2 or 3 videos straight, 93.70 was a very important level in TLT, and we have bounced from that support level, and we are close to 95, 96, which is very good. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a strong, convincing bounce, which is exactly what we've seen. So that's great. As I've mentioned before as well, what are the type of companies that are most sensitive to interest rate movements? It's the Russell 2000, the equivalent of shit coins in US corporates, and the closest ones linked to the real economy. The reason why they are so interest rate dependent is because they don't have the quality to go and borrow money 10 years, 15 years into the future. They need to borrow short term. And what do you have short term? You have the higher interest rates are all on the shorter tenors, which means they cannot survive. These companies are usually more garbage, which means that they need cheap money to keep afloat in an easier way. So that's why you see that the Russell is the index that outperforms when interest rates are going down the fastest. It used to be tech stocks, but now they're so heavily dominated by some of the biggest stocks that those companies can get funding pretty much at any time horizon and with very cheap rates. So you don't see the impact so much. So in case you're asking, why is not the Nasdaq much more impacted than the Russell? That's the reason. Now you guys know. The ECB is expected to cut rates, I think it's this week or next week, and they're also expected to cut rates in November and December. I would say it's extremely likely that they will cut 3 times, particularly because Germany has announced that is expecting to have their economy shrinking in 2024, which means print, which means lower interest rates, which means more liquidity, which means risk assets do better. So this is what I refer to. The fundamentals are happening right now, but the price reflection happens later. It's the same thing when I was talking a while ago about Bitcoin, right? Mt. Gox coins were more than 65% distributed. Grayscale has sold most of its holdings. Germany has sold all their Bitcoin. So all of these things are positive fundamentals. But you're not seeing it in the price right now, which means there's a mismatch between the fundamentals and the price, which means opportunity, because price will eventually catch up to the fundamentals and overtake them into the bubbly area, which is what we are starting to see now. Bitcoin at the time of the recording is around 67.9. Depends a little bit on which exchange you're looking at. We've been above 68 today. There seems to be a big fight here. We're really trying to push into 68. I think we are getting to a point where it's like a pressure cooking. If we alleviate a little bit the pressure, I think the whole thing will move quite fast. I've had this theory for a while, particularly when it comes to Ethereum. Everybody still is super against Ethereum, which to me is very bullish. I don't want these influencers, rooting for Ethereum. I don't want these influencers saying nice things about Ethereum. I want them non-believing in it, saying garbage things about it, and promoting Sui and Solana and all the others, while keeping Ethereum subdued. Because once Ethereum comes, I think I wouldn't be surprised if in 2-3 weeks, not in 2-3 weeks from today, I'm saying in the time span of 2-3 weeks, maybe it's in November, I don't know, Ethereum catches up like 60-70% all of a sudden, and it reaches either new all-time highs or very close to it. And then you start to see people converting to this side back again. But for the time being, I want them disbelieving. I want them trashing Ethereum. I want them insulting Ethereum. I want them saying that Ethereum is finished. I want them to say that Solana is the best thing ever, and trying to do whatever they can to convince people to go into Solana. That's what I want to see. I don't want them to talk about Ethereum and PulseChain yet. I want them, when they're all in agreement that Ethereum and PulseChain is great and it's going to go to $1 trillion market cap, whatever, then it's the time probably that we are very close to the top. Don't forget, buy the rumor, sell the news. Who are these people? They are the news. You see? That's why sometimes, I also like to joke around about Jim Cramer a bit. But there's a reason why Jim Cramer is always wrong, or very often is wrong. Because we all know the expression, either sell the rumor, buy the news, or buy the rumor, sell the news. But who is Jim Cramer? Jim Cramer is the news. So by definition, is always, or almost always, on the wrong side of the equation. You see? It's because he is the event that marks the passage from rumor into news. So whatever, and he will only be right if you have a buy the rumor, buy the news event. If you have a sell the rumor, sell the news event. That's the only time he's going to be right. Now, the things that you start to notice that you are moving in the cycle is yesterday we touched $68,000 Bitcoin. And then we sold aggressively to 64. And today we're already at 68. In other parts of the cycle, this sell-off from 68 to 64 would take weeks to resolve. Now it takes 1 day. See the point? That's the key difference. That's how you know when you're progressing forward in the cycle. A lot of things interesting still going to happen in October. 31st of October, you have Richard Hart and the SEC going toe-to-toe in battle. Let's see what comes from there. It's good to see that the ecosystem, we pumped quite aggressively. We retraced a little bit, gave people the opportunity to jump on board if they wanted, or to sell the red candles, because we need people to sell the red candles. And now we are gapping up nicely with some fat green candles. Again, I think the 31st can be a very important trigger. We'll see. And I think obviously as Ethereum continues to do very well, the sacrifice wallet holds 170,000 Ethereum, which means the more that Ethereum is valuable, the better for the entire ecosystem. Then what else? I'm actually getting quite excited for 7G to come out. I think PulseChain is trying to really gather the final ounces of energy before it goes up. I think it's going to be. I think PulseChain is in the same position as Ethereum, in which you can fall asleep, wake up 2 weeks later, and all of a sudden the whole thing did a 2x, and you say, what the hell just happened, right? And you just and it's we are now getting into the phase of the cycle. I've said this many times before, in which is the biggest mistake that can be done is missing the bull market, or expecting for these pullbacks that end up not coming, and all of a sudden by the time people get in, it's already a 5x, right? But I mean, this happens every cycle. You need people to be left behind, unfortunately. You need people to sell the bottoms. You need people to buy the tops. It is the world of markets that we live in. Now, Andy is doing very well at the $165 million market cap. Hoppy did a new all-time high today. So for those of you who are here new to the channel, as you guys know, every time that I buy a coin, I always disclose it, and I disclose at which market cap I came in. So Andy on Ethereum, I came in at 1.5, 1.6 million market cap. It's currently at 164. Hoppy, I got in at around $1 million market cap, and it's now at 88 million. And today we went to 93 million, making a new all-time high in the coin. So great. I'm actually pretty close to the target of my first bracket for this bull market. So I have 3 levels for this bull market. Number 1, buy a house and live in my 30s without a mortgage. I think that's great. Number 2 is financial independence. And number 3 is generational wealth. Now, obviously, I would love to have generational wealth, but if I get to the financial independence level, I will already be extremely happy. So I'm very close to the first level. And to be honest, I feel that the real bull market has not yet started. Ethereum is still almost 50% down versus its old all-time highs. Bitcoin is not at its all-time highs. And the thing that I like about the Ethereum meme coins is they are liquidity bonded to Ethereum. Meaning in the liquidity setups on the Ethereum chain, you have Ethereum here, and you have the meme coin, whatever it is, over here. So if this side goes up, it pulls the entire ecosystem with it, which means that when Ethereum hits all-time highs and beyond, then all that liquidity will flow into the Ethereum universe and push everything up at the same time. So I'm actually, if I'm already getting all-time highs in certain coins with Ethereum at 50% down, my God, can you imagine what's going to happen when Ethereum is exploding? Quite curious. I mean, I've kept my prediction has always been the same, and I'm always very consistent. Well, I have a prediction which is Bitcoin above 80K before the end of November, and I've made that prediction when Bitcoin was 48 or 49,000 during the Japanese debacle. So I came here on that day and I said, this is the bottom. This is the last time in history that you will see a number 4 behind the price of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will be above 80K in the second half of November. So that was my prediction. So far, the first 2 parts of the prediction was correct. Now I'm just missing the last part. And I've said that I think that Bitcoin will end up at 242 to 276,000 by the end of the cycle, and Ethereum will be somewhere between $25,000 and $29,000 by the end of the cycle. And I said this in 2023, so I've never changed it. I think the only thing that really can change this is, of course, it depends on if the orange man wins the election. It depends on what he does, right? If he says, oh, I'm just going to buy 30,000 Bitcoin per month regardless of the price, yeah, then the sky is the limit, right? Depends on what. If he just says, oh no, I'm going to move these coins into a wallet and that's not going to be sold, okay, that's no buying pressure, but at least you remove the uncertainty of a potential strong sell pressure, but it's not the same. So it depends on exactly what he's going to do if he gets elected. If it doesn't, then you just get your normal currency debasement cycle, in which they need to print a lot of money, big interest rates to zero, and my prediction to negative before the end of 2030, which means that risk assets, including crypto, goes up. So what I'm saying is, either you're going to have, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion, I can be completely wrong, and maybe this is completely, none of what I'm saying happens. Perfectly possible. I'm willing to take a risk myself, not to take others with me, myself. So I think if she wins, you have more of a normal cycle. If he wins, you have a cycle on steroids. That's my opinion. But I'm not on the camp of, if she wins, there's no cycle, it's finished, it stops here, and if he wins, is the Garden of Eden. So I'm not so with such a big dichotomy between both scenarios. Then finally, there was a coin that I mentioned in my last video, which was Boppy. As you guys know, I told you last video, I got in at 600K market cap. Today we touched $1 million market cap, and now we sold off a little bit to 850. One of the good things, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden they ended up coming and commenting on my video. I was not expecting the Boppy community to find me so quickly, but thank you for all the comments. You guys were saying Boppy to billions, etc. I mean, look, I got in at 600K. If it goes to $1 billion, my God, you can imagine how happy I would be, right? So by all means, good luck. I really hope that happens. As you guys know, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I mean, it's anybody's guess, so I leave it to you to believe whatever you want, right? You need belief, you need conviction for any coin. It's not about Boppy or anybody. If you don't have these two things, if you don't have a strong community, conviction, and belief behind it, you have nothing. In my view, the better it does, best. Good luck, Boppy community and all the other communities. I hope that everything goes according to plan and I can be here and enjoy the ride to the upside with you guys. It's a community takeover crypto. One of the things that appealed to me was it dropped to as low as 60K market cap maybe, and it actually came back. But it's still, I think, 70 or 75% away from its old all-time high, which means it's still extremely cheap, but it actually has quite a dedicated community, and it has a good narrative behind it, so I hope it does very well. Am I advising you to go and buy it? No, I am not. I disclosed that myself personally invested around $1,000 at 612,000 market cap, something like this. It was 6 and a 1, and then I don't remember the other number. If it was a 0, a 3, a 4. I mean, check my latest video because I wrote down the exact market cap that I got in. But somewhere in the low 600Ks. And I hope it does very well. It's a lottery ticket, which means high risk. Very high risk. Can it go to zero? Absolutely. Can I lose all my money? No doubt about it. Can I make a lot of money? Also, yes. Hoppy did very well for me. Andy is doing very well for me. Maybe Boppy will be my next one. We'll see. With that, guys, thank you very much for your time today. Don't forget, drop that like and subscribe. And, I'll see you in the next one. And I'm considering to do a live stream maybe on Friday again. But you guys let me know what you think. And with that, see you next time.